I touched on a previous audio briefly about a certain type of person, that one relative who is aware of everything that goes on with everybody in the family, and they'll use a minor family situation to kind of get others who are away from home to come home. It's a form of emotional manipulation. Let me get into detail about this, because I'm sure a lot of you haven't thought about why this person behaves this way, and you haven't thought about, you know, who this person is, but I'm sure every person in the family has somebody like this. Let me give you the lowdown on this type of person. First of all, these people do not know themselves, and they're afraid of being by themselves. Let me say that again. These people do not know themselves, and they're afraid of being by themselves. If you notice, there's always that one auntie, that one brother, that one cousin, or whoever it is that has the lowdown on every single person in the family. And that's kind of a good thing sometimes, because when you have relatives that are out of town and they want to get the 411 and find out what's going on with someone in a healthy way now, not trying to be messy, just general concern, then they'll know to go to cousin so-and-so or sister so-and-so or auntie so-and-so or whatever, and they'll be able to give them that, and that's a cool thing to have. But some of them, if you notice, if you look in their lives, they have some kind of confusion at some level going on. It could be minor, it could be major, but every time you look into their personal situation, it's not always above board, and it's always not smooth. It's never smooth sailing. There's always something going on. See, these people have to be involved in a situation constantly in order to validate themselves. There is no peace. There is no quietness inside of them. And there are some people who are so dependent and afraid to be alone and to live alone and to be alone that they feel they need to have as many people around them as possible, whether it be the same block or the same city or the same county. And they actually have negative attitudes towards family members who leave outside the fold. They have negative attitudes to that one child who went off to the other side of the country to go to college or join the military. They have a negative attitude. You probably heard that one person say all the time, I don't see why they went all the way out to California to go to college. They could have stayed here and gone to so-and-so just fine and stayed right here. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? That person wants to see something else besides what they grew up with. They have sense enough to realize that this is a big world with over 200 countries, 7 oceans, and over 8 billion people, and they want to go out and see the world. It's a natural instinct to want to explore at some level. But you know, you've had that one person in the family that talks like that. Or if it's a woman that had children and doesn't have a significant other and doesn't do much in her life, she's the one that every time you turn around, you go to her house, she's got a house full of people. She watching this person, or she dabbling with this, or she helping this person do that or anything. She's hardly ever alone. You will never catch her by herself doing anything by herself. When she goes out, it's always a group of people with her. Can't go out to eat by herself, can't even go to Walmart by herself. You've seen those people that be like 10 deep just going to Walmart to buy a gallon of milk. And that's all they're going to. And you have some of them that are like that. These are the type of people I'm talking about. And there's a part of them that does not like people that go out on their own and leave the fold. And it's a form of jealousy, because deep down they want to do that. Deep down, they want to have the strength and the ability to do that, but they don't have it. So they'll demonize a person for going out on their own and make it seem like they're a horrible person, and then we'll turn around and demonize that person to everybody else and brainwash everybody else in the family into thinking that that person was a bad person just because they left home. And then it gets to the person who left home, and it's like, shoot, there's no sense in me trying to go back home, and nobody's going to feel that I'm welcome. I'm not a part of the family. They'll purposefully leave them out of important news and things like that. And then lo and behold, here comes a little minor situation with cousin JoJo or with Miss Mary, who's been sick the whole time and everything else. But they'll turn around and blow it up and make it seem like it's this huge crisis. And out of the blue, they'll call this person, and this person will take up stakes, rearrange their schedule, spend money that they didn't have for a last minute thing that they think is an emergency, to come all the way back home and come to find out it wasn't even that serious. How would you feel? How would you feel, let's say you were living in Sacramento, you're living your life, you're doing your thing as far as taking care of yourself, and all of a sudden your people from Alabama decide to call and tell you that so-and-so's in the hospital, and they don't know if they're going to make it, and so-and-so, and you knew so-and-so since you were kids. So you go ahead and you book a last-minute ticket, and you and I both know last-minute tickets are expensive. You ask for time off from your job and everything else just to go all the way out there thinking that that person's on their last leg, and come to find out it was an ingrown toenail. Or come to find out they've had this chronic illness for years and they just had an episode. None of the doctors, they're not in hospice, none of the doctors or nobody has said anything about this person going to die. But because this particular person and the family wanted you to take up stakes and to come home, see, they wanted to have you around. There's something wrong with these people. They didn't think about the fact that you have a life of your own out there, and see, that's the problem. That's where the part of the jealousy comes from. You got to be careful with these people. And I'm sure somebody has that one person in the family that just cannot be by themselves. And some of them will probably open their mouth and say that they can't be by themselves. Oh, I can't do that by myself. Okay, fine. If you want to have a whole bunch of people around you all the time, that's fine. But don't turn around and mess with the people who are by themselves and that are living their lives well. Leave them alone. That's the problem that I have. I touched on this in a previous audio because I've run into that situation as well. I had somebody blowing up my phone trying to tell me that this person was on their last leg and everything else, and that they about to go out. And I'm sitting up here about to take my time off to do everything, and then after a little investigation, thank goodness I didn't get caught up and go anywhere. After a little investigation, come to find out the situation wasn't even that serious. So I didn't wind up leaving, but the thing is, you got to be careful. If it's a situation where it's medical or whatever it is, contact the people that are involved. Contact the hospital. Contact the authorities. Contact whoever it is, if it's a jail situation, and verify, especially if it's from a relative you haven't heard anything from in a while. And I know you're caught up in the shock of everything. Before you start making some serious plans, just do a little bit of investigation for a few minutes, because you are sacrificing a lot. You're giving up time, money, and resources for something that may not be that serious. And the person who dragged you back home does not care about that. All they wanted was the attention. It's crazy and it's sad, but it happens every single day. So I just thought I would go ahead and touch on that and just let you guys know to kind of be aware of it. I always try to encourage you on this channel to kind of look into things. Try to think with your rational mind just a little bit more often, and rely a little less on irrational feelings, because irrational feelings can hem you up. It really can mess you up. So I hope this helps someone, and I grant you all peace and love.